everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my quarterly wrap up and ranking of everything I watched for the last 3 months, so October through December. I think this video is coming out like January 2nd, but it's still December when I'm filming it, so Christmas sweater is still valid. However, at the same time when I say that, I'm also filming this a smidge early. I'm at like mid-December right now, so I actually haven't watched a ton of Christmas movies yet, so there's not a ton of Christmas movies on this list yet, but in January we'll probably do all my Christmas movies that I watched this year. Let's get started. The very first thing that I watched, well, I actually finished the TV show Little Fires Everywhere. This was a mini-series, I believe on either Prime or Netflix, somewhere. It was somewhere. I gave this 8 out of 10 stars. I really enjoyed this. I absolutely love Kerry Washington. I really like Reese Witherspoon, and I thought this show was really interesting. It was very good. I think it's based on a book, so I'm kind of interested in checking out the book at some point. But yeah, liked this. It was really good. It's a quick burn, pun unintended. I think it's like only like 8 or 10 episodes long. It's a mini series, so it's very short, but it's very good. I really enjoyed it. Then Sam and I watched JodeyS at 50. So in my previous video, the last movie I talked about was that Sam and I went to see JodeyS in theaters. They re-released it in IMAX for the 50th anniversary. So after we saw that, I put on the documentary JodeyS at 50 to watch and just learn a little bit more about the making of this movie. I got a special 50th anniversary edition of JodeyS, and it came with the documentary, so that's how we watched it. And this was a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed this documentary. I love documentaries about movies, and it was funny because they included just a smidgen of a clip of John Williams, and I'm like 99% sure it was the same clip that they used in the John Williams documentary, which was interesting. But either way, if you are interested in movies, especially JodeyS, I highly recommend this documentary. It was very, very good. Then I rewatched K-Pop Demon Hunters, and I don't know what I said about K-Pop Demon Hunters in my last video, but I have officially decided I'm giving K-Pop Demon Hunters 10 out of 10. There's no way that this movie has come into my life and impacted me in the way that it did, and I can't not give this movie 10 out of 10. I absolutely love this movie. I've rewatched it so many times this year, so absolutely changing my ranking from 9 to 10 out of 10 for K-Pop Demon Hunters. Wow, I must have gone through this really quickly. I finished the TV show Good American Family. This was another show similar to Little Fires Everywhere that I just kind of watched on my own without Sam, and I enjoyed this, not as much clearly as Little Fires Everywhere. I gave this 6 out of 10. These kinds of shows are interesting, but it was very disturbing, and I didn't like the story of anything going on in this. It really upset me. It really disturbed me, this whole thing. So yeah, 6 out of 10. It was good. Don't think I would rewatch it, but if you're interested, give it a try. It's a short show on, I think it's on Disney+. Then Sam and I finished watching the TV show Camp Cretaceous. I actually filmed a video on this. It probably won't be up for a long time, but I did film a video talking about Camp Cretaceous. I gave this 8 out of 10. I think it's 5 seasons. It's on Netflix, and when I'm filming this, Chaos Theory, which is the spin-off series, has wrapped and finished on Netflix as well. And I'm just going to spoil a few things right now, because when I filmed my video for Camp Cretaceous, I didn't know the ending to Chaos Theory, and I said in that video that I need to know and I need to find out the ending to 2 particular characters in Chaos Theory, and if it doesn't end the way I want, I won't be watching Chaos Theory, and unfortunately, I will not be watching Chaos Theory. I have a very unhealthy parasocial relationship with 2 of the characters in Camp Cretaceous, Brooklyn and Kenji. I love them so much, and I've heard how Chaos Theory ends, and I just can't. I'm just going to stay in my bubble of my Camp Cretaceousness, and the way that Camp Cretaceous ends, that's just the ending for me. There's nothing else. Chaos Theory does not exist in my mind. But anyway, with that being said, I really enjoyed Chaos Theory. I had so much fun with this show. It is technically a children's show because it's a cartoon. It takes place at the same time as Jurassic World does. And yes, it's a kids show, but I would definitely not recommend it for young children. They don't show the dinosaurs eating anyone. There is a lot of implied death and dinosaur eating in this show. So definitely not for like young children who are maybe very sensitive to that kind of stuff, but it was still a lot of fun. I really enjoyed all of the characters. As I mentioned, my very unhealthy parasocial relationship with two of the characters in this show, but for the most part, I really enjoyed this show, and I'll get more into it in my video. You'll just have to look forward to that. Then when we were flying home from Florida, we watched 2 movies on the plane. Sam and I watched The Great Mouse Detective, which is his favorite movie ever. It was actually kind of funny. On our last full day at Disney, I guess my niece woke up quite a bit earlier than everybody else and earlier than we were all gonna get up. So my sister just gave her her cell phone and let her watch something on Disney Plus. She picked The Great Mouse Detective. We weren't in the same room as my niece, but we were in adjoining rooms. So there was like a door open between the 2 rooms we were in. So we could very vaguely make out the audio coming from the other room, coming from my sister's cell phone, but I very much remember Sam whispering to me, she's watching The Great Mouse Detective. So after that, he kind of wanted to rewatch it himself. So for the plane ride home, I downloaded it onto my Disney Plus app and we watched it on the plane. I do really enjoy this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I definitely don't enjoy it as much as Sam, but I still very much enjoy this movie. I think it holds up. I think it's fun. 10 out of 10, and also 10 out of 10 for the other movie we watched, K-Pop Demon Hunters again. Sam and I watched for the first time the movie Nope. I have not seen this movie ever, which is a travesty because it is a Jordan Peele movie, and I really enjoyed Get Out and I really enjoyed Us, but Nope was probably my least favorite of his films. I don't know, it just didn't hit me the same way specifically like Us hit me. I don't know, everything about it was really great. The acting was great. The effects were so cool. I just didn't connect with the story as much. I'm not a big alien movie type of person, except for like Star Wars or like the movie Alien or something. I'm not a big alien movie type of person. Alien, zombies, not really my thing. So I gave this 5 out of 10. Besides, for me personally, the story, everything was amazing. The acting, the effects, everything was super good. Just the story was not my cup of tea. And then we watched the movie Heretic, which I guess I gave 7 out of 10 when I'm looking at my planner here, but I actually think I'm going to change that to like 6 out of 10 when I think about it. It was an interesting movie. It just wasn't what I was expecting based on the trailer. The trailer had me thinking it was going to be like this guy puts these 2 girls into like a crazy like maze / trap, and he does put them in a trap, and it's very disturbing, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. Similar to Nope, the acting was incredible, but just again, however, for this one, it just wasn't what I thought I was going into. It wasn't what I expected, and I heard so many people say that this is like the most like twisted mindfuck movie ever. Definitely not. And I had a movie night with my sister and her kids, and we watched the movie Elio. I've talked about this movie before. This is a 7 out of 10 for me. Then I saw the movie Roofman in theaters. I saw this with my friend Tori and her parents when they came to visit. We went to go see this, and I gave this a 7 out of 10. This was a fun movie. I would buy this movie, but only if it was like $10 or less. It was still cute. It was still a fun, silly story. I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. Then I watched K-Pop Demon Hunters again. This one is actually kind of funny. I do want to talk about this just a smidgen. This was when Tori and her family were visiting me. On this day in particular, it was the day that the Toronto Blue Jays were playing to qualify for the World Series. And so Tori and her dad obviously very much wanted to watch that. I have no interest in sports whatsoever, so I was gonna watch with them because I assumed that all of them, Tori, her dad, her mom, would be watching the game. So I was like, cool, yeah, I'll obviously watch with you guys. But I have no interest in sports whatsoever. However, this particular evening was when we were all in Edmonton, and so we were obviously staying at a hotel there. So Tori and I had our own room, and then her parents had their own room. So we decided Tori and her dad would watch the ball game in one room, and Linda and I were gonna watch a movie in the other room. And I suggested K-pop Demon Hunters, which Linda is like the biggest fan of my channel. Linda, I love you so much. And she was like, yes, you talk about that constantly on your channel, so we gotta watch it. I'm like, yes. So Linda and I watched K-pop Demon Hunters again. Well, again for me, it was her first time, but I think she enjoyed it. Then after they all went home, Sam and I went to go see the movie Shelby Oaks in theaters. I have a video all about Shelby Oaks. I very enjoyed this. I gave it 7 out of 10, but again, I think I'm going to actually change that to an 8. I have to think about that, but I really enjoyed Shelby Oaks. As you guys know, I also love history and stuff of films, and the whole premise of how this movie got made is just awesome to me. Everything about this movie and how it came to be a film makes me so happy. So that alone is like 10 out of 10 for me, but the film itself is so good, and the more I've thought about it, the more I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna actually change Shelby Oaks to an 8 out of 10. Oh, I have a lot here. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's speed run these. I watched Hercules with my sister and her kids, 9 out of 10. Sam and I rewatched It Chapter 1 on Halloween, and I gave that, where's my score? I gave that 8 out of 10. And then we watched the movie Alien, which I also gave an 8 out of 10. This is the one that I actually enjoy. Also on Halloween, Sam and I went to go see the new Frankenstein movie. I have a video all about this as well, and I gave this 7 out of 10. This movie is also very good. The makeup in it specifically is incredible. I'm just thinking back and forth between Shelby Oaks and Frankenstein. As I said, I am thinking about giving Shelby Oaks an 8 instead of a 7. For me, myself, I would definitely rewatch Shelby Oaks again over Frankenstein. That's not to say I wouldn't rewatch Frankenstein. When that movie comes out, I will 100% be buying it. It was still a fantastic movie, but for just some certain reasons, like the pacing and how long it is, and I enjoy the story of Shelby Oaks more than I enjoyed the story of Frankenstein. But that's not to say Frankenstein was a bad movie. Frankenstein was so good. I'm just kind of justifying why I'm increasing Shelby Oaks over Frankenstein and keeping Frankenstein at a 7. But anyway, not the point. Still a very good movie, 7 out of 10. Then the day after Halloween, we went to a friend's house to watch some scary movies. The first one we watched was The Conjuring, 8 out of 10. I love these two movies in particular. I haven't seen The Conjuring 3 or 4 yet. I've heard they're not nearly as good as the first two. But anyway, the first one, 8 out of 10. And then we also watched the second one, also 8 out of 10. Then I had another movie night with my sister and her kids, and we watched the movie Tangled. I've actually been really wanting to watch this movie since we went on the Disney cruise, because they did a Tangled like musical performance on the cruise. So ever since then, I've really wanted to rewatch Tangled. So 10 out of 10 for Tangled. Love that movie. I also rewatched The Black Phone with my sister leading up to going to see The Black Phone 2. And I gave Black Phone, the first one, 7 out of 10. And I gave Black Phone 2 also 7 out of 10, which I've also done a video. Well, I think I've done a video on both of the Black Phone movies. The first Black Phone is just old, but I did a video on both of these movies. And then I had another movie night with my sister and her kids, and we watched Tarzan, also 10 out of 10. That movie is amazing. I love Tarzan. Sam and I rewatched the movie Glass Onion, which is the second in the Benoit Blanc films, and I gave this 8 out of 10. I like this movie. It's definitely my least favorite of the 3, but it's still very good. And then, as per my tradition, as I was setting up Christmas decorations, I watched Star Wars. It's my tradition. I'm sticking with it. So I watched The Force Awakens, 10 out of 10, and I watched The Last Jedi, also 10 out of 10. Sam and I rewatched the original, well, not the original, but the original with like Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. We rewatched The Mummy, and that is a 9 out of 10 for me. Sam was shocked that I gave it 9 out of 10. He was like, the effects suck. They're so dated. I'm like, I love this movie. I think this movie is great. I have so much fun with it. I don't care about the effects. I think it is such a fun movie. And you know what? I actually don't hate the effects. Like, the effects for actual, like, mummy guy, whose name I am forgetting right now, are, I think, really good. So, yeah. Then Sam and I watched Air Force One. This was my very first time ever watching Air Force One. It was good. I gave it 6 out of 10. Might change that. Then Sam and I rewatched the movie A Little Princess. I love this movie. I haven't watched this movie in years, but it still makes me cry. I think it holds up. I think the story is adorable. I love everything about this movie, and I gave it 8 out of 10. Then we rewatched the movie Sinners with my sister. This was my sister's very first time watching this movie. I'm so happy I convinced her to watch it because she does not like scary movies, but I thought she would enjoy this movie. I don't know what she thought, but I've given this movie 9 out of 10. And then I also rewatched the movie Beauty and the Beast on November 22nd because that is the anniversary of Beauty and the Beast. And I gave it 10 out of 10, of course. Then Sam and I went to see Wake Up Dead Man in theaters. Have a video about this, also 8 out of 10. I'm really struggling. I need to rewatch Knives Out to really decide what I like better, Knives Out or Wake Up Dead Man, because I thought I liked Knives Out better, but I was having a conversation with my little brother about Wake Up Dead Man, and he made some like really good points. So I was like, do I like Wake Up Dead Man better? So I need to rewatch both of them. I like just watched Glass Onion, so I know that's my least favorite of the three. It's still a great movie, but I need to rewatch Knives Out. It's been a minute since I've watched it. But yeah, also 8 out of 10. Sam and I finished the TV show Midnight Mass. It was at this, actually no, it's the next thing we watched. But Midnight Mass is a Mike Flanagan show, obviously. I know I'm going to do a video. I don't know if I've filmed it yet. Have I? I think I might have. I think I might have already filmed my video for Midnight Mass, but similar to Camp Cretaceous, it's gonna be a bit before that video actually comes out. But Midnight Mass was incredible. It is another Mike Flanagan show that I have slept on for so long. Similar to The Fall of the House, well, similar to every Mike Flanagan TV project. It took me so long to actually get to it and watch it. And the second I finished it, I regretted it. And I was like, why did it take me so long to get to this show? I need to watch Midnight Club, and then the next Mike Flanagan show to drop, I will be watching it immediately. No more not showing up for Mike Flanagan stuff. But yeah, Midnight Mass, 9 out of 10. And then after that, Sam and I watched the movie Life of Chuck, which is also a Mike Flanagan project. And this was the thing that made me like realize I need to just watch everything Mike Flanagan has done ever, because Life of Chuck is not a scary show or movie. It is not a scary movie. It is not scary whatsoever. There's no ghosts, or actually there's no like jump scares or anything terrifying in it, like in like Hill House, for example, or anything just terrifying like in like Midnight Mass or anything like that. No horribly gruesome deaths like in The Fall of the House of Usher, and yet it was still amazing. I loved this movie. I literally went on and on to Sam after this movie finished about how much I loved it and how much I love Mike Flanagan. One example I used was talking about the movie Oppenheimer, which came out, I think 2 years ago now, 2 summers ago. I despised that movie. I really did not like that movie. And part of why I did not like that movie was because when I went into that movie, I felt like I was missing a lot. There was supposed to be a chapter in the textbook I was supposed to have read prior to seeing Oppenheimer, because so many times they would introduce scientists and they would make no like comment about what they've done or any relevance whatsoever. Oppenheimer studied under so-and-so, or here's so-and-so. It's like, who are these people? What have they actually done? The only like scientist in this movie that I actually knew by name was Albert Einstein. And I just felt like Christopher Nolan made me feel stupid. I walked out of that movie feeling so stupid. Like, yes, I'm not the smartest person at all, but I felt like there was supposed to have been like required homework prior to going into Oppenheimer. And yes, this movie Life of Chuck is not the same thing. There's no scientists or anything, but the way it all wraps up, even though this movie, you do kind of have to think and you do kind of have to like watch it and listen and understand and hear what is being said throughout this movie, everything is still given to you. Everything you need to know to understand this movie is presented to you in this movie. That made me love this movie. Because again, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I don't like movies where I have to really think about who these people are or what is going on or what I'm supposed to think. And because of that, I loved Life of Chuck, because if you watch the movie and you pay attention, you can understand the ending and you can understand what is going on. And because of that, I loved it and I thought it was so good and I was so impressed with it. So seriously, like, I will never sleep on another Mike Flanagan project again. He can come out with anything and I will be there. I thought this movie was great and I did give it 7 out of 10, but that's only because it just wasn't my favorite type of movie in the whole wide world. This movie made me realize this director is incredible. He is right up my alley for the type of movies that I love and enjoy. Like, Hill House is a terrifying show, which is originally what drew me in to Mike Flanagan projects, but he's done so many other type of things. Like, Bly Manor is spooky, but it's not really a horror TV show. And even like Fall of the House of Usher, Midnight Mass, they're scary, but they're not terrifying, and they're just so good. And this movie, not scary whatsoever, but it's so good, and you, like I said, you can understand what is going on once you get to the end of the movie. Now that I've raved about Mike Flanagan for an hour and a half, moving on, I watched the movie Solo. We had a movie night with a few friends who were like slowly making our way through the Star Wars movies, and we watched Solo. 10 out of 10. Okay, we are almost done. I went to see Zootopia 2 in theaters with my sister and her kids, and I gave this 9 out of 10. It is just as good as the first one. It is so adorable and I loved it. Also have a video on this. And then we watched the movie The Shining. I'm now, as you can guess, I'm on a Mike Flanagan kick. So after we finished Midnight Mass and Life of Chuck, I really wanted to watch Dr. Sleep, but I was like, okay, but before we do that, let's rewatch The Shining. So we did that. I do enjoy The Shining. It's still a very good movie. It's not as scary as people think it is. It's a mindfuck, that's for true. But it's still a good movie. And again, the history of it is just great, in my opinion. I know Stephen King hates this movie. It's like, I kind of hate the movie for him, but at the same time, it's still a really great movie. After we finished that, we rewatched Dr. Sleep, which I love Dr. Sleep. I actually like Dr. Sleep more than The Shining. I think Mike Flanagan did such an incredible job. This is Mike Flanagan, if you didn't know, but I think Mike Flanagan did such an incredible job of basically following up with The Shining, which is, again, notoriously hated by Stephen King. And Stephen King has given him his praises, saying how much he actually enjoys Dr. Sleep. So this movie I actually did get to see in theaters. I read the book forever ago, and it's probably one of my favorite Stephen King books. So when they made a movie, I was so excited, went to go see it in theaters. I really enjoy this movie, and it follows so perfectly after The Shining. Like, if you watch them back to back, Mike Flanagan basically recreated some of the sets and the locations of the Overlook Hotel. That he uses a lot of the same like feelings and music that they used in The Shining, a lot of the same kind of shots, and also obviously they have young Danny and then also Wendy in this movie, who are obviously not played by Danny Lloyd or Shelley Duvall. Specifically, the actress who plays Wendy in this, you can tell that she studied the heck out of Shelley Duvall's performance, and she has the same mannerisms. She has the same high shriek when she's calling for Danny. She does the same really high shriek that Shelley Duvall did in The Shining. She was amazing, and I love this movie. I think it is so good. It is such an incredible follow to The Shining. It doesn't technically follow the book in some specific scenes, but it's still so good. And like I said, the fact that it is notorious that Stephen King hated The Shining, the fact that he actually likes Dr. Sleep, that's reason enough that you should give it a watch. But anyway, that is going to be it. That is everything I watched October, November, and most of December. I'll just have to throw some Christmas movies into my next video because I need to edit this and get it ready. The holidays are just so busy with everything going on in my normal life, plus work. Plus, I always have a bunch of videos every year that I put out around this time that I have to film and get ready. So yeah, it's a little early. There's no Christmas movies, but you guys know the drill. I'm going to watch Klaus. I'm going to watch Home Alone. I'm going to watch The Grinch. You guys know the drill. But anyway, that is going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I post new videos every single Friday, and I'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.